Last night, once close associate of ASAP and Carti's former manager, Ian Connor would go on a huge Twitter rant where he would expose the issues between Playboi Carti and ASAP Rocky, which gives us more context to why the two not only beefed back in 2023, but also why the two have not been seen with each other since like 2017. So firstly, Ian would quote tweet this Flexico post where he shared this ASAP Rocky snippet, produced by Space Ghost Perp and ASAP Ills, where Ian would say, "I don't know if y'all are aware, but Rocky ain't doing none but D-suck Carti." And Carti even doing anything with Perp was an indirect diss to Rocky in the first place. I'ma tell y'all the truth, nobody likes each other over on this side. When I say Flocko ain't who y'all think he is, that fella is gay. So a lot of you may have no idea what this tweet actually means, so let me break it down. Firstly, the whole Rocky sucking Carti, which is probably Ian suggesting that since Carti is now this huge rapper that has a spotlight on him, Rocky is trying to get back in and around him, as just a couple weeks prior to this we would actually see Rocky with Carti and his Opium artists, with Rocky even going on IG Live singing along with their collab song Off the Meter. But Ian may also be alluding to the fact that now Rocky is getting Space Ghost Perp production after Carti used Perp production on his album Music, suggesting that Rocky is copying Carti. As for those who don't know, track 13 on I Am Music, titled Crank, the beat samples F Taylor Gang by Space Ghost Perp from the 2011 mixtape Blackland Radio 66.6. Now Ian would also say that Carti doing anything with Perp was an indirect diss to Rocky, and you might be asking why. Well, back around 2011 and 2012, Rocky and Perp would have this huge falling out after he accused Rocky of copying his entire swag and aesthetic, and I think he even like stole song lyrics from Perp. It was a big thing, but it's so old I'm not too informed about it, and I also don't care because it was like 15 years ago now. There's probably some YouTube video if you type in like Space Ghost Perp versus the ASAP Mob versus ASAP Rocky. Anyways, now speaking of that, so for now Rocky's protege Carti to sample one of his enemies' songs on his biggest album can be seen as an indirect diss, which is what Ian is talking about here. Oh, and at the end of the tweet, Ian would say Rocky is allegedly gay, which Perp would supposedly expose Rocky for in a tweet some time ago. Now, I'm not sure how true this is, as he has put like 3 kids in Rihanna, but you know, it could be a Diddy thing where, you know, he's into some freaky side stuff. A fan would then ask, why would they beef if they squashed the beef? To which Ian would respond with, ain't no beef squashed, he didn't want Perp to resurge when he the one who even brought him in the game, and someone else get the fruits of benefit for piping him back up. Fella don't even respect nor like Perp, but bruh sure enough is making his way back around. Now, so here the fan was alluding to Rocky and Perp supposedly squashing their beef, as around a month ago in May, he would put out a tweet saying that they have resolved their problems. But here, Ian is saying, well, no, not actually. Sure, they may be cordial, but Rocky does not want to see Perp brought back and given attention. And now with Carti basically putting everyone back onto Perp, sampling him on the biggest album of the year, Rocky doesn't like that. And a lot of people in the comments may be saying or just thinking like, oh nah, this Ian Connor dude is just angry, he's fallen off, everyone's left him, he's broke, whatever. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like Carti and Ian are actually cool behind the scenes, as there was a tweet from back in November saying he's trying to get in contact with Perp, presumably to get that sample cleared for Crank. It was like something life-changing. And Ian would also show his recent DMs of Rocky on Instagram, where he is the one ignoring his calls. And actually, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but Rocky would even allegedly diss Ian at Rolling Loud, and Ian would confront Rocky about it in DMs, where Ian would basically bait him. I'll show you guys on screen. F this about nothing. You probably don't believe me, lol. Word to though, can't blame you if you don't. I like to hear unbelievable cause what's going? Where we set this tone? So yeah, Ian press Rocky, and it seems like Rocky is scared of Ian. And yeah, everyone in the replies was just clowning Rocky. Holy Ian gotta have something crazy on Rocky. This fella Rocky really got beat by this little dwarf that looked like a pug with Down syndrome. MFS said bro was scared he'd be number 34. So it actually seems like Rocky is the one trying to link up with Ian and Carti again. It makes sense why Carti would be closer to Ian and remain friends with him, because they were actually like friends back back in the day, not like Carti and Rocky where it was more sort of just music business stuff. And Ian would actually address this in a tweet. Ian signed Carti through Rocky, basically trying to tell us, yeah, Rocky legally signed Carti to the Orge label, but Ian is the one that actually discovered him, managed him, probably dressed him, and put him on for everyone to discover him. Actually, I think Ian even got Ye in contact with Carti because Carti modeled for Ye for like Yeezy season 3, 4 or 5, something like that. And Ye even performed at one of Carti's shows, or Carti performed at a Ye Good Music show. I'll play it on screen. So in summary, Rocky and Perp had beef because Rocky stole Perp's entire style back in the day. And now Rocky is mad because Carti is giving Perp clout in Big 2025 by sampling him on his album. And not only that, but it was an indirect diss at Rocky since him and Perp have had beef beforehand. And actually, a fan would say, him and Rocky were literally in the studio in March, referencing Carti, Opium and Rocky all linking up together a couple weeks ago, to which Ian will respond with, fake love out of fear exists. So basically here Ian is saying Rocky's only back with Carti because he's the hottest rapper right now, and with Rocky really struggling for clout and attention, music-wise, this is why he's trying to get back close with them. And I'm not trying to say like Rocky isn't famous or anything, he clearly is. He just had this huge trial and is of course the father to Rihanna's children, but musically, not many people seem to care about him, which may be why he's trying to get back cool with Carti. Because if you think about it, when was the last time we even saw Carti and Rocky together? Like if you Google and search up their names, it's all stuff from like 2017 and 2018. It's like these dudes haven't linked up for 7 years. There was only like a couple months ago, we heard that Rocky was apparently blocking the release of music, which not sure if that was true. Could that have been possibly because he didn't want that Space Ghost Perp sample to drop? And like going back to Rocky and him kind of needing clout, because realistically, what is Don't Be Dumb selling first week? Like his last project was Testing, released in 2018, and that sold 75k, which in my personal opinion for 2018 and for Rocky's size, I'd say that's pretty poor. And really, I'd only presume it can get worse, as in 2025, he's lost all his relevance. It's way harder to sell copies due to streaming becoming so popular. I think he'd be lucky to do like 80k, maybe 100k at a push. Like there's still hype of course because he hasn't dropped in so long, but how many people actually care? People have moved on, we have Carti, Travis and so on now. To be fair, if Rocky gets some big features, a fat track list, maybe he could push a little bit over 100, 120, but I don't know man. To me it feels like people are just fed up of him now. If he dropped it like right after the trial, that would have been nuts, but nah, he's doing Ray-Bans and Puma collabs instead of dropping music. And it low-key makes sense why he wouldn't drop in the first place. Like he just doesn't need to. There's no monetary benefit. He's getting loads of money from all these brand deals anyways, and all his past music is still streaming extremely well. And second of all, if it performs badly, it would only tarnish his career, whereas if he just doesn't drop, he will just stay in the same position he is at now, which is a very good position. Whereas if it flops, you know, there's going to be negative press around his name. If it sells really badly, maybe brands won't want to do brand deals with him anymore, stuff like that. And Ian would also say, Rocky is a sheep disguised as a shepherd. That fella just handsome and knows how to dress, so we give him unnecessary credit when you think about it. Is really not due. Who the F listened to bro past Live Long ASAP, for real, past his eye for visuals thereafter, which again is just giving us more reasons for why he may be trying to leech off Carti now. Nobody really cares about him musically wise, but hey, if he secures a Carti or Ken Carson feature, a lot of the new generation may actually tap into the album now. And really the last time we heard of Rocky and Carti was all the way back in 2022, not for good reasons, after Rocky posted a song to his Instagram called Sights, featuring Carti. Now beforehand, this song was not released, so he literally just posted the full thing to his Instagram for no reason. This led to beef between Rocky and Opium, as they were mad he was leaking their music, supposedly causing delays. Carti's right hand man, Opium Baby, would tweet, all that leaking this shit costs. F Rocky, he played. F that ASAP shit. So this was back in the September of 2022, early Opium days, with this being Carti's literal right hand man, Opium Baby, or formerly known as JX Creased. He used to do all the fashion stuff back in like 2017 and took drug and gun charges for Carti in 2020, with him seemingly calling Rocky out, saying that him leaking stuff is damaging their business. And I actually kind of need to correct myself, as this is some important context. Apparently sites is actually Carti's song featuring Rocky, which may explain even more why Jay was so mad. Because Jay would actually say, "That's Ush," and would also say, "This could have been on all streaming platforms." And one of Carti's engineer, Fritz Owen, would say, "My brother just saying this he ain't a go." Obviously referencing to Carti and him saying he didn't allow the song to drop. Now honestly, that whole situation is weird, as not only was the song old, meaning it was never going to officially drop, but also Jay and Fritz at first co-signed the song dropping, as they even like tweeted lyrics from it, then a day later randomly started dissing Rocky for quote unquote leaking the song. Maybe Carti didn't like the fact Rocky was dropping songs with him for clout, so he told his goons to call him out, especially as this was back in 2022 where Carti was like deep into the whole mysterious image. No music, no posts, no features, nothing. So for Rocky to post a song with him, it can be seen as a little bit clout chasey. Because I don't know, but to me, he could have dropped any other song he had, but no, he decided to drop the one with Carti. And even this was back in 2022 before Carti was the superstar he was, you know, in 2025, he was still an extremely big rapper, and still out of the new generation, he was probably still the biggest. Like who else? Uzi? Travis? Like Carti was still the one that had all the attention on him. Like I'm telling you, I don't want to side with Ian Connor because Ian Connor's a terrible person, but him saying Rocky is using Carti for clout makes sense. Like think about how many people will tap in to Don't Be Dumb if Carti is on it. That will probably be the most streamed song in the first week. Like I'm telling you, especially they haven't had a song since Testing. I think Carti was on Testing, well apart from Sights, but yeah, that was not official. So overall, what we can take away from this is none of these rappers or people in the industry are actually friends or mess with each other behind the scenes. To me, it seems like Carti got signed by Rocky in 2017, used that move to boost his career, and hasn't spoken to him since. But now that Rocky's music career is struggling, he's trying to link back up with Carti and even copying Carti, as he's now trying to sample Space Goes Perp for his album Don't Be Dumb. Definitely a weird situation, but at the end of the day, they may not be cool, but Rocky is eating good. Not only does he have all them brand deals, but Carti is signed to his Orch label, meaning he gets a percentage of all his money. So yeah, he's eating. And Ian will put out a couple more interesting tweets regarding Rocky and also Travis Scott, which, you know, we're at the end of the video, so if anyone's interested, I thought I'd go over it. So a fan would say, does this mean he might be in the studio with Travis Scott now? Because this is a fan basically laughing, oh, Rocky is using Carti for clout, well, he might use Travis for clout now too. As beforehand, they had like kind of beef because Travis was like copying Rocky, but since Rocky needs the clout now, hey, he might forget all that stuff in the past and get back with Rocky. But Ian would say, nah, they're not gonna collab. Trav not hearing that because he too powered up now. Nast and Rocky called themselves bullying that man when he was still coming up and he never forgot, as he shouldn't. And now he got the last laugh, career and money wise. But he plays it cordial, but he looks down on them fellas. Basically saying Travis would never collab with Rocky because they used to poke fun of him back when he was up and coming. So now he was nothing to do with them. And I actually think I covered this a long time ago. I think like they were leaving a nightclub and like the ASAP people got into a cab and there wasn't like enough space for Travis, so they just left him in the rain. I'm not sure if that's true. Like I remember reading that somewhere. I think I was doing a video on like Travis and Rocky beef. I think it was in my Vixen the Travis Scott video. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened because, you know, Rocky needs the clout. He would need a Travis Scott feature. He needs Carti, Travis, I don't know who else, Ken Carson. And then Ian would basically say about Rocky, I can't stand to see somebody I look up to be so weak of a fella. Basically saying Rocky is now becoming a leech and D-rider, as he said earlier, which is why he's back with Carti. Which is kind of true. As I said multiple times in this video, when was the last time we saw Rocky with Carti? Never. These dudes have never been with each other apart from like 2017. And what? Suddenly now Carti's become the biggest rapper in the world, you know, like, you know, relative to his age or whatever. And like he's a new generation rapper, he's the biggest. So what, now Rocky's back in the studio with him? We haven't seen them together for 10 years, but now Carti's selling 300k and now he's back in the studio. Okay, bro, sure. And even before that, Rocky was dropping Carti leaks on his Instagram for no reason. Why not leak a solo song he made? Why leak one with Carti? It's kind of clear what he's doing. Again, I don't want to side with Ian Connor because he's a terrible person, but to me, it's clear as day. And then To end off the video, a funny one about Rocky. Bro is equivalent to a B with a fat ass, good style, but ugly face. Saying Rocky can dress and has good style, but his music's ass. So yeah, that's Carti sneak dissing Rocky, or indirectly dissing him, and Ian Connor saying basically how Rocky has fallen and is using Carti to get clout. Let me know what you guys think. Is Rocky using Carti for clout? Has Rocky fallen off? Or is Rocky just, you know, wanna be buddy with Carti for no reason? No, I think it's clear. Again, I've said this loads of times. There's a reason he's back with Carti after not being with him for 7 years. Like, it's so obvious. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.